So coming to lying down, and you can choose where you'd like to be. So in yin, it's quite often constructive rest where you have your knees bent and feet flat onto the floor. But I'm not going to dictate that to you because that might not be right for your lower back. You may like something underneath the knees. If you do have your knees bent and the feet onto the ground, then take those feet to the edges of the mat and have the knees coming towards each other. So that supports your lower back. And let the arms be wherever you like. Specs on or off, by the way, so you might want to take them off before you arrange your arms in a suitable way. We're getting ready for a 5-minute or so check-in, grounding, coming to breath and body. So we're lengthening the neck, tucking the chin in very slightly. Eyes are very lightly closed. Space between the back teeth, or just letting the lower jaw fall away from the upper jaw and the tongue rest lightly behind the top teeth and the lips softly closed. Smooth any worry and tension out of the forehead. Find space between the shoulder blades. Let them sink into the ground. Free those collarbones. Soften the rib cage. Arms relaxed and heavy wherever you've chosen to have them, whether that's out by the side, down by the side, or resting onto the body, whatever feels right for you. Releasing the back of the waist, softening the belly, and the hips are heavy into your mat. Releasing thighs and lower legs, toes and feet. Just letting that body sink into the ground. And allow the breath to flow freely. If you find it helpful to bring you into your practice, you could follow the breath with your mind's eye for a few rounds as it enters the body and then pauses and rests, and as it leaves the body. Pause and rest. Imagine those shoulders wide and soft and free of tension. We sometimes imagine in our practice, our relaxation practice, that our buttocks are like half-filled balloons with water. They have that squishy element. Can we bring that element to the shoulders? So as they squish on the ground, they get wider and softer. We physically and metaphorically hold so much in our shoulders. So our practice today is about melting and letting go. So I'll just read you Learning to Let Go by Liz Newman. Letting go doesn't always look how you think it will. Sometimes it happens all at once, and sometimes it's in phases. Oftentimes it requires a few tries and heartfelt goodbyes. Even when it's good for you, letting go is hard on the heart. But like the changing seasons, we will learn to change too, in time, in time, in time. So just another minute here to allow you to rest in silence, in peace, in stillness. Now we're going to take a deeper breath in and sigh that breath away. And again, deeper breath in and then sighing the breath away. And just move your tips of toes and tips of fingers, feeling the sensation of that movement. And one at a time, we're going to draw the legs up to a bent knee position, if they're not already, and then one at a time in towards the chest. Maybe have a little rock there, side to side or back and forth a few times. And when you feel ready to, rolling over onto one side. And as you roll over onto one side, keep the knees bent, so quite well tucked up, so like a side-lying version of child's pose. And take the top hand underneath the bottom cheek and wrap the other arm around you. And here we can very gently open the eyes. So take your time to reacquaint with light coming in through the eyes. And then we're going to bring ourselves up to sitting. So we'll do that in a very kind and mindful way. And you're coming up either to sitting or kneeling. So you choose whether you'd like to sit or kneel. Sitting does not have to be cross-legged. You can sit with your legs outstretched or with the knees bent. But somewhere where you feel supported. In our next practice, if you prefer to sit against a wall, you can do. At this point, if you want to sit in a chair as well, that's an option, by the way. If you want to sit in a chair, then do so if that's better for you. Okay. So our first practice is Pashi Manjali. So this is hands together in prayer behind the back, but listen to the options. So excuse my back turning to you, but obviously I need to show you the back. So we take the, don't do it just yet, by the way. Take the arms wide and then we bring them behind and they come palm to palm. So that's reverse prayer behind. Options: to take hold of one hand with the other, so it's not as strong. Or to take hold of elbows. What we want to do is have the opening in the front and the shoulder blades coming together slightly. That's the movement that we're after with the shoulders on this time. So take your choice which one you want to do. Is anybody doing holding elbows? Hold your, just go with me if it's you holding elbows. No one's holding elbows. Okay, that's cool. All right, so settle in, lovely and tall in your spine. Don't lift the chin up, keep the chin slightly tucked in so we have the length in the neck. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes. So find the comfort, perhaps gently closing your eyes and coming to breath. Shoulders settle down, those shoulder blades coming towards each other. With the spine spacious and tall, long in the neck, and space between the back teeth, lips soft. So if you're taking hold of one hand, then take hold of the other. And if you have gone to your elbows, then just change the hold over to the other side. So another 30 seconds to either go a little bit deeper if you like, ease out if you want to do so, go to one of the other options. Just be with your breath for the next half minute. Now with an inhalation we're going to release the arms, take them wide, stretch them out. And then with the exhale, bring them around the front. So you're going to hug yourself. And yeah, the chin can come down. Softly breathing. And then another breath in, next breath in, opening up. I'm going to hug the other way, so bring the other arm on top, wrap around. Lovely. Next inhale, we're going to open up and then just float those arms down. If you need to have a roll of your shoulders, or we're going to be doing the neck later, but if you need some interim stuff, you can move the head from side to side if you like. So I'm going to give the options for the next pose. So we're going to do Garudasana, eagle arms, and Gomukhasana legs, so that's cow face legs. But the legs are completely optional, completely optional. So you can sit or kneel however you want. If you wanted to do, just watch for the moment, if you wanted to do cow face legs, Gomukhasana legs, we take one leg, and I've got my foot tucked there. I'm going to take the other one on top, so my knees are on top of each other. So hopefully you can see that, my knees are on top of each other. Don't do that if you've got varicose veins, and some of you might find it excruciatingly uncomfortable and not want to do it at all. You can sit on a block, and that raises the hips, and that might make it more accessible. So we'll play about with that in a moment. Don't do that now. And then the arms, let's just play about with the arms together. We'll take them out wide, and then we'll bring them together, and we'll bring the right over the left. And then can we bend the elbows? Yeah, we can do that. We can take them to shoulders, or we can lift them and take the palms, the hands back to back. Or we can take them palm to palm. So we can do any of those. We can have them on your shoulders, we can have them back to back and palm to palm. Okay, so that's the arms. So free them now and let them come down. Oh, that's complicated, isn't it, for yin? So let's think about the legs. Would you like to sit or kneel in a place that really suits you, or would you like to have a go at Gomukhasana legs? It's entirely up to you, there's no right or wrong. If you're doing the Gomukhasana, we're going to have the left leg on top to begin with, and then we'll swap over when we swap the arms over. So we have a bent knee position, take the right foot through so it's next to the hip, and then the left foot comes to the side and the knees are on top of each other. And the feet are out to the sides. They're supposed to be like cow's ears, apparently. Or you're sitting on and kneeling in a way that's right for you. And because we've got the left one on top, we're going to spread our arms and then take the right arm on top. So left leg on top, right arm on top. Or you're sitting or kneeling in a way that's right for you. Right arm on top, bringing the backs of the hands together. Yeah, that's it. Backs of the hands together or the palms together. And then just lift those elbows slightly and let them sink down. But don't push them, just let them be. So we'll be here for 2 minutes. Have your neck lovely and long, the back long. Eyes can be softly closed. Space between the back teeth, your forehead smooth. Imagining your shoulders wide and soft and free from tension. You may like to softly chant to yourself inwardly the mantra Om repeatedly. Om, Om, Om. Or you may like to be with your breath. So last 30 seconds you can ease out or go a little deeper if you want to, lifting and lowering. And with our next inhale, softly releasing, letting go, stretching out. Bring the fingertips down to the ground just behind the hips. We're all going to take our legs out in front no matter what position you chose, well, even if you're kneeling, it would be good to stretch them out. And just take the fingertips slightly behind you so you can open your chest and stretch those arms out. Yeah, maybe looking up a little bit, opening the chest. Draw the toes towards you with those straight legs. Okay, and then we'll softly release that counter pose. So if we're doing Gomukhasana legs, we're doing the opposite to last time. So this means the left leg's going underneath and the right leg's going on top, or you're adopting a kneeling or seated position that suits you. And then because we have the right leg on top, this is a very good reason why I'm not mirroring you in this pose. Right leg on top, we'd spread the arms out, then we bring the left arm on top this time. So options to bring the hands to the shoulders, bring them back to back, or palm to palm. And just gently lifting and then settling. Neck lovely and long, spacious and soft in the face. Breath gently flowing. Perhaps being with your breath, perhaps with a mantra on. Encouraging softness, release. So the last 30 seconds, you can ease out, go a little deeper, lifting and lowering if you wish to. And then with our next inhale, we're going to release the hands, spread those arms wide, bring the fingertips down to the ground, stretch those legs out. Draw the toes towards you so you get a really lovely stretch down the backs of the legs. Open the chest, gently looking up, perhaps adopting the counter pose, allowing everything to settle. And then we'll just relax, we'll let go. Be somewhere comfortable. Move into those shoulders and the neck if you wish to do so. And I'll demonstrate our next one. So this is a leaning seated swan. It's a version of the channel 4 position, so which we would normally do lying down. Again, there's a few options. So the first one is we take the hands, so don't do it just yet, watch me. Take the hands back, and then we're going to take one ankle and place it onto the opposite thigh so that we have that knee going out to the side. So if we're lying down, we'll be doing it like that, wouldn't we? So we're doing that instead. Ooh, that was hard. Sitting up. So that can be, particularly those of you that have got shoulder issues, that might be a little bit strong, and those with wrist issues might be a little bit strong on their arms. So if you've got a bolster or pillows or a settee cushion would be really good, sofa cushion. You can bring your elbows onto that, and then we can adopt those legs like so. And that foot can be further apart. If it's not good for you to have the knee bent, you could have the leg outstretched and place the ankle onto the thigh there. So lots of options. If you're leaning onto your elbows onto this, it's really hard to not have your shoulders up by your ears. So you can sort of do that for a bit, but you'll get tired and then you can have a sink. If you've got your hands onto the ground, it's easier to then keep the neck free and the shoulders down. So is everybody all right with that, with those options, taking the right one for you? Okay, we're here for 2 minutes. These are shorter holds that we're doing with these because they can be a bit taxing. So I haven't told you which leg, so you've probably gone with the leg. So whichever leg you've gone with, great. You stick with that one. So let's settle in. So a lovely imagery for releasing things from your shoulders or tension from anywhere in the body actually is to imagine a warm flow of water or even oil, which is an Ayurvedic procedure where you have warm oil poured on your head, which can be just wonderful. So you can imagine it's a warm waterfall maybe, and that's just slowly going onto your shoulders and then just washing everything away. Try not to let the chin drop down too much. Some of you have let go with your chin. Try and keep it up a little bit, but not sticking up towards the sky. So another half minute. Ease out if you need to do so. Okay, so we're going to then release that foot to the ground, sitting up. Take the feet a little further away from you, and with a lovely straight back, so hinging at the top of the thighs, we're going to come forward. The arms can rest on the ground or they can rest onto the legs if you prefer. And try to resist the temptation to let your chin drop down. Maybe keep your gaze towards your toes or slightly beyond. Steady, soft breath. So we'll prepare to do that to the other side. So sitting up, choosing where to have your arms, and you're obviously going with the leg that you didn't do last time. Either with the bent knee or having the leg outstretched. What's your choice on this side? Because it may feel differently on this side to the other. And your arms, where's that, on your hands or onto your elbows, onto a support. Keep that neck tall and straight. Soft face, spacious. And be with your breath. Or if you prefer the mantra Om, chanting Om, and perhaps that cleansing waterfall, taking away tension. So another half minute. Ease out if you need to. And use an inhale to sit, and we'll do the counter pose that we did before. So just taking those legs out, keep the knees soft, lovely tall back as you come forward. Let the arms rest either on the ground or onto the legs. Keep the integrity in the neck, spine. Either close the eyes or a soft gaze to your toes. And then let's gently lift up. And again, make your way to a comfortable seated or kneeling position. Doesn't matter where you are. This is our last one from this position. And this isn't shoulders now, this is neck. So sitting or kneeling tall. We're going to take a breath in. We're going for a twist. So we're going to the right. So go to your right and I'll mirror. And we'll hold this twist for about a minute, and we're going to take the gaze over that right shoulder as far as is comfortable for you to go without forcing. And then just softly breathing there. With a tall spine, shoulders down, neck tall, and the face soft. And that's been about a minute, so we're going to then use our next inhale to come to the front, and we'll change the direction with the exhale. So we'll twist to the other side, taking the gaze over the shoulder. And that's a minute, so we're going to, with an inhale, make our way back to the centre. Take the right arm out to the side, and the left hand's just going to come to the top of the head, and very gently, no forcing, take the head to the side. So don't pull your head, let it go to a natural, comfortable place, and then your hand's there to support, not to pull. And we'll just do 30 seconds here. Don't want to put any strain in that neck, but I want to just ease out any tension that may have occurred there. So then use this, is it my left hand, to bring the head back to axis, and that arm can float down. This left hand then stretches out. Take the right hand to the head, and then very gently, encouraging ear to shoulder, but not forcing it. Good, and then just gently coming up, releasing the hand down. If you would like to roll your shoulders a couple of times, then do so. Our next pose is the dangle. So that's the yin term for a forward fold, a standing forward fold. So it's not often that we come to standing in yin, but we're going to do that today. So don't come to standing just yet, just watch while I show you what we're going to do. So my head might disappear off the screen for a moment, but that's all right. So I'm going to stand with my feet over hip width apart, a good grounding there. And then just a dangle, soft knees. I've got soft knees and I'm coming down, and I'm going to take hold of opposite elbows as I come down, and then I'll just let the head go. So it's literally a dangle. There are options here. So you could come down. Don't I put my glasses back on because I'm just going to fall off because I haven't managed to get to the opticians yet to get them tightened up. So you can make a platform to bring your arms down onto, to let go. Just remembering to keep your feet parallel and the knees soft. So if you'd like to make your way very gently up, create a platform if you need to do so. Okay, and then soften those knees, and we're just gently coming down. So everything is soft now. The shoulders round a little. We take hold of opposite elbows. We let the head drop down. And we let gravity do its thing. Keep those knees soft as you're there. Good. and soften, let go. If you want to go side to side a little, you can do. It's a little sway. And this is a lovely one for visualising a waterfall, starting at your hips, flowing down the back, over the shoulders, and then all of that stuff that you don't need, it can flow away to the ground. Imagining that warm water flowing down, taking away physical stuff, emotional stuff, letting it go. Can you, without disturbing yourself too much, change the hold of your elbows? So whichever arm was nearest you, the other arm is away now. So just another half minute here. If you've got everything resting onto a platform, you might like to just move that platform out of the way so your hands can come to the ground, and we can bend the knees fully and bring our bodies back down to the ground. We're not pausing in between now, we're going straight to our next pose. So thread the needle. So we're on to all fours. So it doesn't matter which direction you go in first. We're taking one hand underneath the opposite armpit and perhaps bringing the shoulder and the head down to the ground. This is the most comfortable way to do it. If you want to come down onto a platform, if it's difficult for you to get your shoulder to the ground, then please do. And then we're going to rest here. So don't lift that hand like we would normally do in a hatha class. We're going to keep the hand on the ground and soften into that twist. Just being with your breath or the mantra Om. Another 30 seconds here. If you wanted to go deeper and raise the top arm up, you could do for your last 30 seconds, or you can just remain as you are. If you've got your arm raised, bring it to the ground. Use an inhale to lift yourself back up to the centre point, and then sink hips back to heels. Come down to Balasana, Child's Pose. Arms can be outstretched, or one potato, two potato underneath the forehead, or down by the sides. If that's not a comfortable position for you, you could do that seated with your knees in towards your chest. And use your next inhale to then bring yourself back up onto all fours. Just have your tummy tucked in so that your back's lovely and supported. And then when you're ready, going to the other side. So the opposite side of where you were that time. Maybe different on this side, you may be more comfortable coming onto a support. Just letting go. In our final 30 seconds, if you wanted to raise the top arm up, you could do, or just keep it where it is if that's better for you this evening. And then if your arms raised, bringing it down to the ground, using your next inhale to lift back to the centre. And then we're going to move straight into the next pose, because it is our counter pose as well, which is going to be a supported child's pose. So this is where you need your pillows or your bolster. And you're taking that out in front of you and a knee either side, so that you can come down onto that platform and let your arms rest onto the ground. They may be more comfortable, your arms onto pillows or cushions either side of you, so take time to make that work for you. You might like something underneath the head as well. You may like, too many options, you may like to turn your head to one side. So take time to make this pose work for you. And come back to that flow of water or oil over the shoulders, pouring down the arms, down into the ground. You could imagine that water or oil starts off pure, and as it's running off, you can see that it's taking all those things that are not needed at the moment, taking them away. And perhaps during the practice you notice that this water or oil becomes more and more clear as it runs away, as it takes away discomfort, takes away feelings, emotions that are not useful right now. Tightness, injury, letting it go. And just another minute here to be in silence and stillness with your breath, with the visualization if it works for you. preparing for movement. And we're gently going to lift up, take away our platform, and then lower ourselves down onto tummies, onto the ground. Have one hand on top of the other and bring the forehead down onto those hands. Let the legs be wide and the heels go out to the sides and the neck be long. So it's time for our final pose, which is of course relaxation. You may like to stay as you are. You may be super duper comfortable there. If you want to come up so that you can organise yourself in a different way, then bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and as you push into the hands, raise the hips as well in order to come up. And then take your choice as to where you'd like to be for relaxation. Would you like to have your legs up the wall, for example, or onto a piece of furniture? Would you like something underneath the knees, or traditional Shavasana? So you can take your time to make the choice for you. Plenty of time to gather your other bits and bobs if you want to do so. If you've come up, a few of you haven't, that's fine. If you're comfortable there, you stay there. Blankets, eye pillows. Those of you that have got sandbags may like to put them on the lower abdomen, or a cushion is nice there as well on the lower abdomen. Taking your time to let go. Releasing the legs, the arms, soft and spacious into the face, into the neck, into the back, and the belly soft and released. Releasing all those points of contact between you and the ground, letting yourself be heavy into them. Releasing into the spaces between your body and the ground, letting go into them. The whole body wide and soft and free. And the breath gently flowing with that rhythmic manner of the ocean, gently in, gently out. In your mind's eye, watching that rhythm, gently in, gently out. Let It Go by Donna Folds. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind might never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. You may like to continue in this pose for a while longer, in which case just be with your breath and don't listen to me. If the time is right for you to start to externalize, then perhaps just feeling into the ground first of all. Being aware of the sounds in your space and the sounds beyond your space. You might like to take a deeper breath in through the nose and maybe a nice big sigh or a yawn through the mouth. And then perhaps bringing movement to tips of toes and tips of fingers. The face, perhaps turning the head if you're lying on your back, from side to side a couple of times. And when you feel ready to, rolling over onto one side, just as we did at the beginning of the practice, with the top hand underneath the cheek and the bottom arm wrapping around. And when you feel ready to, gently lift yourselves up to sitting or upright in some manner. And keep those eyes softly closed if you wish to, so that you could practice palming. Rubbing the hands together briskly, creating warmth, energy, and cupping them over the closed eyes when you feel ready to. Allowing the eyes to softly open there into that dark, warm, protected space before letting the light gently filter through the fingers, finally bringing back sight. Okay, so we have 3 people that are continuing in relaxation, so we're going to be quiet and just wish each other Om Shanti, for peace. Om Shanti.